Alright, welcome to 5-Minute Theory. Today we're going to look at the Italian game, also known as the Greco Gambit. And that begins with a very, very common opening that pretty much everyone has learned, everyone has seen. And now the move c3. And this gives far more options than knight c3. So of course our goal is we're supporting d4. We're going to counterattack in the center, launch an attack in the center. Counterattack is what black's going to be doing. For example, if black goes d6, we're going to go d4 immediately. However, black can play knight f6, which attacks the pawn on e4. Today we're going to look at a very aggressive variation, which is to go d4 anyway, to answer their attack with an attack of our own. After the trade, bishop check, white has two choices. Bishop d2 is a much quieter choice and very playable. We will cover this in a different video. Today we're going to look at the very aggressive knight c3, the so-called Greco Gambit. Black plays, of course, knight takes e4, grabbing a free pawn, also piling on the pin. It appears as though white has played the opening quite badly. White is already down a pawn and about to lose another. However, white has the move castles. Now, if black attempts to take the free pawn this way, there's a very stunning move here for white, queen b3, hitting the bishop on c3 as well as the pawn on f7. Black is in serious danger. Let's take a look and see what happens if black gets extremely greedy and grabs the rook. Okay, there's going to be a check. And now, for example, if a move like king to f8, bishop a3 does not help things, but instead bishop g5 is an extremely strong move. Knight e7, you could perhaps play rook e1. You could probably even take the bishop first and then go rook e1. So let's head back. Instead, black wants to take this knight on c3, but he wants to take it with the bishop. Again, we can take here, but a much stronger move, takes here, is going to be answered by d5. So a much stronger move is instead to go d5 ourselves, hitting the knight on c6. The bishop is still able to be taken under attack, and also if the bishop were to move away, there's still the threat hanging in the air of rook to e1. Now here the main move, there are two. You can play as black, you can play knight e5, and you can also play bishop f6. I think bishop f6 is slightly stronger. We will look at that in a different video. Today we're going to follow the game Hou-Kislik versus Hou-Kislik, which goes knight e5. Now, Shang playing white takes on c3, and after knight takes c4, we're going to see more or less the point of the variation, which is they arrived at this move order, knight a5 instead of knight e5, but of course, regardless of the move order, we would have the same position. Queen d4, a very powerful attack, forking both knights. Now, black, of course, can save the knight, which he does, knight d6, but now the knights were not the only thing under attack. White goes queen takes g7. And yes, white is down a whole piece here, but the attack on the king should not be ignored. And in this case, black loses quite quickly. Queen f6, a very logical move, defending the rook, and also offering a queen trade. For example, if rook f8, white would have a number of good choices. Rook e1 looks quite good. Simply just bishop h6 probably is the best. And the rook is trapped, even if you guard it maybe again. Rook to e1, highway of doom. The e-file is the highway of doom. Don't leave your king on it too long. Use your pieces. These pieces over here might as well be off the board at the moment. Anyway, back to the game. Black offers a queen trade. White actually accepts, because white notices this attack, bishop h6 check, is very strong. And the point is, after king g8, white can actually threaten checkmate. Yes, we're on move 16, we have no queens, and we're down a piece, but hey, there's a mate, folks. Rook to g5 is game over, no mas. Black must defend this threat, which he does with knight f to e4, and white is fully mobilized now. Every single piece is participating in the attack, and the knight on e4 is in danger. So black rushes to defend it. However, unfortunately, this opens up tactics along the 7th rank. b6, oh my goodness, if only we could use these pieces, but it is too slow. Knight to h4, the point of which we will see in just a moment. Of course, there's pressure on f5. The knight is overworked, but the bigger point is, believe it or not, this knight is actually heading to g6, and after the move bishop b7, These pieces are finally in the game, but it is one tempo too late. Rook g7 check, check, and the point is now we can see what's coming. Check, and after the only move, king f8, knight to g6, and the house comes crashing down. At this moment, Kislik playing black resigned. So the Greco Gambit is a lot of fun. The key moment comes after the moves e4, e5, Nf3 Nc6, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, knight f6, d4, ed4, cd4, bishop b4 check. White can opt for the quieter bishop d2 or the very fun knight c3. We'll get some more stuff in this variation in the future. For now, enjoy 5-minute theory. Please remember to rate the video, comment if you will, and subscribe.